music. Music is not a sport.
Rap is not a sport.
There's no points. There's no trophy. Or there's
it's not sports.
Yeah.
I hate when niggas say points.
There's no teams.
It is because there's something called battle rap, which is a sport, right?
But that's different from
battle rap is a different thing, and that's it's competitive rap.
No, King is making a salient.
Funny enough, you need to make a distinction in order to make rap a quote unquote sport.
But
Like you have to, what about battle rap? Yeah, it's distinct.
Battle rap is a sport. Come on, man.
But the thing is, not a sport.
It's a contest competition. It's kind of like whoever eats the most hot dogs. Like, is that a sport too? Like, no. It's a competition.
When it comes to art.
Yeah, like it is when it comes to art. Like clearly they're seeing the sport at hand. I'm not, but you can keep making claims that are false. What I'm saying is, if we're allowing educators to pick apart battle rap and people that are in that space to utilize for study and instruction for younger students, should we look at something further than it being just a sport? Is clearly an art. There's an art form to it, and it can be sold. Clearly, that's what we are seeing happen. I'm not like I'm educated. All right, I went through my studies. I'm cool. If someone can say how they feel, but let's not act like the whole beginning of utilizing our words haven't been articulated into us making money. Like we're on a whole audio app. People can literally make a whole page and get paid off of the portion of someone talking right now. Like, stop playing like it's not some type of form of currency. Like, come on, man. It's an art. It's fucking art. Come on.
You're equating art with sport.
Not here.
Yeah, but you're not equal. They're not equal is the point.
Bro, come on, man.
No,
it's not.
Value in yes, but bro, come on. Are you like
As a former athlete, that was very offensive.
As a former athlete, someone that
rap is a fucking sport, bro.
It is
There's no judges. There's no points.
There are judges in rap.
It's all subjective. Athletic is purely objective. There's a winner, there's a loser. It's objective.
you're an athlete? You play football.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're gonna act like rapping is not a sport now. People are.
It's like no one that lives in New York like that way about
like what? Like yeah, like it's definitely not the Jews, right? Yeah, like but the Jews. It was the Jews at the camps in Auschwitz. The Jews were definitely systemically hunted down, especially because they were Jewish. And
that's true. They were.
That was real.
Yeah, that was real. I agree. I'm glad we agree.
I think that's overreacting, and then I don't. What really happened was more tame than what American media implants in our heads.
Do you think the Holocaust is mostly a myth or overrated?
No,
What are you gonna do about it? Buy more white eyeliner?
I'm gonna bomb Palestinian children. For anytime someone says that the Holocaust is a myth, I just bomb an extra Palestinian child.
Okay, I don't care. You can do that.
Wait a minute. Are you a Trump or Elon fan?
I'm an Elon fan.
You know what would be funny if I knocked out every white person that had a white picture of the Messiah? That would be pretty fucking funny, wouldn't it? My hand would be fucking broken from knocking out all the white people that got a European, that have a fucking European image of the Messiah. There's a lot of fucking things I could deal with, but a nigger ain't one.
Jeez.
And also the delusion that Jesus was fucking black is next level. Always. I mean, it's almost as bad as the Jewish pretension. I mean, it's bad.
Hi, moderators. This is Wisdom. I would like to be in a regulated conversation and address the topic.
Yeah, you're in the queue. You're in the queue. Thanks. Sam, what was your question?
You said, what's the Jewish pretension? What was that?
The Jewish pretension is the Holocaust, the camp.
How many people do you think were killed in the Holocaust?
Oh, we had that discussion. So you know, something that I've taught my children, just as a general rule, that I require them to understand. Anytime someone comes to you and tries to tell you that they've surveyed a
population in the middle of a fucking war, incorrectly ascertained and accurate figure, is full of shit. You know, the same thing with the COVID pandemic. You know, people were hitting all these numbers, this number, that number, this number, that number. And it was like, wow, you people really, really aren't pretending. You want to believe that you have the ability to collect this kind of specific data. It's insane.
The way they get data is the way they
how many do I wish died? How many do I wish died?
Oh, that's something good.
And how many actually died?
That's
I'll tell you what.
Position.
the way they get
Hi, moderators. If you could put me in the queue since we're not in a regulated conversation, please put me in your queue. Thank you, moderators.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. You're in the queue.
The way they get the numbers is from a mixture of like census data, population declines, the Nazi documentation themselves, the testimony from perpetrators, survival testimonies, like physical evidence, historians or research, like war crime trials, where they like pull out numbers, literal reports by Nazis.
Sam, look, I did you a disservice, and I want to rectify that now. I thought I knew you, thought you knew me, but clearly you don't. Welcome to Clubhouse. I'd like to just help you understand something. I'd like to have the conversation with you where we go over all this. Now, were you aware of what the plaque outside of Auschwitz said?
Yes, I'm well aware.
Okay, what did it say? How many did it say?
4, then it said 2.
Okay, yeah. Now, it seems like you're wrong. You're wrong. Hold on. First of all, you're wrong because it was a bigger discrepancy than that. But you don't seem to have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't think that indicates that there was a willingness. There was a will. So again, when someone tells you who they are, you really should trust that they're telling you the truth. When someone displays a capacity to lie about something to the extent that
the Russians put that number up. The Russians put that number up, and then when historians came and checked the numbers, they revised the numbers because they're like, oh, the Russians exaggerated it. So if you think that Jews are like trying to lie about it, why would they like very publicly be like, oh, we changed the numbers? They were like, hey, the Russians put this number up and they were incorrect. But don't interrupt me, man. You have no self-control. You're like a child. You just talk over people. You have no self-control. You're like a fucking child.
I love Israel. I love Israel. I love the Jews. I will never let the Jews be harmed. I will protect the Jews. I will love the Jews. I will protect the Jews. Fuck you, Nazi. Fuck you, Nazi. Antifa. Antifa.
Fuck off.
Hello, moderators. This is Wisdom. I'd like to be put in the queue. Do you have a queue? Thank you very little.
This is not the conversation I wanted to have by mentioning Jewish summer camp. First of all, it was ruach means spirit. It's a happy word, and I think we should have a happy conversation.
Hello, moderators. This is Wisdom. I'd like to be put in your queue to discuss the topic of your room. Please let me know when I am allowed to communicate. Thank you very little.
We're gonna go to Wisdom. Wisdom, what you got?
So, in terms of having actual conversations instead of having insane mental health breakdowns, I would just like to address the topic of your room. I believe, in the PTR of my profile here, it's a book. It's called The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. The first chapter is about Plato's Republic. And in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, he addresses Plato's Republic and how some people may choose the Republic over God. And they themselves that do that have their own problem because the Republic's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect because it's made, man is doing it. And we all know how frail and stupid, obnoxious, and retarded our fellow men and women can be. Humans, people. That's the problem primarily. So Plato's Republic is very fragile because our citizens are very fragile. Now, I guess the second point I want to talk about is Elon Musk and Donald Trump, but primarily Donald Trump because Elon Musk is not the president. Donald Trump is the president. And what Trump says is what he says, meaning that it carries more authority than the owner of X and the owner of Tesla, or essentially an employee of those corporations. So, in terms of having faith in who the leader is, I think kind of goes back to simulation theory in a way that if you are a ridiculously stupid low IQ atheist and you don't study God and you don't think that there is essentially truth and justice in the world and that Donald Trump and this is not Trump worship. This is essentially American patriotism and faith that Trump is the president because probably because of God. Meaning that it is a very special thing to become the president of the biggest business and the biggest, most powerful, badass military on the fucking planet. And Donald Trump is that man, and the collective liberal left and the rhino right are having meltdowns because they themselves are horrific traitors that have depleted our treasury and purged this country into a cultural chaos. And the fact that you can go into the chillism room and listen to fucking N-word, F-words arguing about Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beef, and the fact that we have a total cultural degradation in this country where white pussy cuck liberal F-words are saying that Kendrick Lamar's half-day show was for a certain type of people and it's for them, it's a gift for them. I just see, but then I look at Trump and I see him and Ivanka supervising, their kingdom. And I think that they themselves, could possibly be in disbelief of what they're presiding over. So I would just say that I think your room can have a great purpose, that the communication you make as moderators can be important and effective. But if you go on and on about J words and Z words and you think that that isn't your inner N word, you need to go look in the mirror and know just how much of an N word you are if you talk about J words and Z words all day long and you have a dandruff problem. You need to go to the fucking gym, take a hot shower, read a book, and stop with your J word, N word, Z word, whatever, because you're a fucking low IQ monkey if that's all you talk about. Read the fucking Constitution on here. Do some type of effective, useful usage of your time and your power of communication. Don't be irascible like an N-word that you are criticizing.
You okay, bud?
Hey, wisdom.
You alright, bud?
Wisdom.
I didn't know wisdom was so based.
You're an applause. Applause.
He's not based.
Applause.
Start with something.
I think that crescendo will be difficult to surpass.
Well, so there definitely is an admiration, an affectation, a disposition, a deference, an attitude towards Trump and Elon Musk that approaches worship. I think that's fair to say.
Wait, let me just follow up with one more sentiment. That by reading the Constitution, what that does is everything else you hear that people talk about, which is really just politics, outside of the Constitution, they're literally wasting your time with nonsense hypnosis scams. And we have gone so far away from our root Constitution, and the amount of money we're spending on all this exterior communication and action is a scam. It's a fraud. It's anti-American. It's anti-patriotic. We are living with a bunch of people who are communicating outside of a framework, or essentially, it's like project management, meaning that the Constitution is our main framework for all project management, and all the other political conversations outside of it, no matter what it is, if it's outside of that framework, it is a waste of our collective American time, and we can identify it as being a scam and a fraud against we the people of this country, not in a collective socialist way.
Pause. Okay, so consistent and uniform enforcement of black letter law is the first and foremost responsibility of every public official in any capacity. So, to the extent that the Constitution of the United States is the foundation for that law, it's absolutely correct to assert that the most pressing issue is to enforce the Constitution. Everything else is built on the Constitution. We should go back to the bedrock, to the foundation. But what we're failing to do is to recognize that the pyramid has been inverted. It's supposed to start with us, and it is supposed to be us, we the people, the individuals, acting collectively in our collective communities, and our counties, and in our states that are essentially supposed to have worked outwards. We should not be looking at the federal government to interpret the Constitution. The Constitution exists to restrict the federal government. So they're not going to police themselves. They're not going to hold themselves accountable. It is ultimately we that have to agree what the limitations on the government are supposed to be. We have a set of limitations that are placed on the government in the Constitution, and we have not held them accountable thereby. Now, we have elected officials. We have delegated the authority and the responsibility to officials in our communities, in our counties, and in our states. And they have not held the federal government accountable. So it is absolutely commensurate with the responsibility to read, understand, and return to the Constitution, to some meaningful accountability and binding of the federal government, that we understand who, what, when, where, why, and how we're hurting ourselves to continue supporting the worship of people like Trump. Trump is not concerned with black letter law. He's not concerned. He now is the manifestation of the federal government, and at the height of its power. He's not going to be the one to hold himself accountable. He's not going to hold the federal government accountable. He's going to work, as all federal agents must, to continue to erode any kind of restriction on the power of the federal government. So,
the mind of a child, Agnes.
Did I hurt your feelings, Sam?
You're an idiot.
You sound just like my dad.
I'm glad. Like, do you not see how it's inappropriate to cut someone off while they're talking? You not see how that's like an inappropriate thing?
Oh, this is his room.
If you were talking to you're calling me saying I have the mind of a child, but it's like,
yes,
as a parent and an adult, when a child is talking to me and a child clearly doesn't have the plot, or they're just begging for scraps, I'm just going to interrupt them.
Yeah, but you have the mind of a child. That's the asymmetry here. I'm not the child here. You are lower IQ than me. That's the difference.
I'm sorry, but you are wearing a romper.
I'm not wearing a romper right now.
What? All right, Sam, you're wearing a romper. What is going on here?
Your mother gave it to me. It was a nice gift.
Oh, that's cute. Hey, do you like Trump and Elon though?
I like Trump.
You like Elon, not Trump.
I'm Sam. Kamala, bitch.
Okay. So do you think that the Constitution, the constitutional republic, the democratic republic, what do you think about America? How do you think we should be governed, Sam?
Trump.
I mean, I basically believe that like what we've been doing is like pretty good. We need to like make some changes, but like the fact that we're the most powerful country on earth suggests we're doing something right. And so like when you're at the peak of something, it means you should probably continue doing the thing. If we were like much further behind other countries, that would be more sort of warrant for doing something different.
Moderators, please take action and kick Summer to the goo where that thing belongs.
Keep your personal conflicts from interrupting the flow of conversation. Sam was speaking. If Summer would like to have something to say about how she dislikes Trump. Hey, Summer, welcome to the Elon and Trump worship room. Did you want to speak? You don't like Trump? Do you like Kamala Harris?
We was trying to tell you how we feel about Trump.
Okay. Do you like Kamala Harris?
Support her, Black Queen. Yes.
You support her, okay. And now, do you think that Kamala Harris would be a better administrator of the Constitution than Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Tell me one of her policies.
And where'd she go?
Thank God.
Not me.
I hate people like that. I bet you she can tell you one of Kamala's policies.
I mean, you don't have to.
The point I was making is that when you're the most powerful country on earth, it means you're doing something right, and the status quo is more justified. Whereas when you're not the most powerful country on earth, it means you should change more things up and do more experiments.
Okay, so is that might makes right?
No, it's success. If you're doing something successfully, you should keep doing it until you're proven that it's unsuccessful.
Well, you didn't talk. You said powerful. You seem to imply something about our strength, our might.
I mean, our GDP, like our cultural influence,
do you think that has been achieved through the rigorous, uniform, and consistent enforcement of the law, or have there been, has there been some slippage?
I don't think.
What's more important, Sam? Sam, what's more important? The consistent and uniform enforcement of the law, black letter law, as a tool to establish civilizations that generate energy surpluses, or might, power, GDP? What's more important?
Wait, I think neither of those things are like what explains like American success. Like
I'm just asking you a question. Which one?
Between those two, which is more important? I would say like might is more important than like following the letter of the law. But like what explains American might is like things like education, our economic system, like our cultural norms, our innovation.
You're being consistent to say that you believe that being mighty and powerful is more important than following the law, right? Because that is Trump's position. Absolutely, essentially, that is the position of the current iteration of the so-called conservative movement. That really the most important thing is that we're strong and we're going to continue to be strong. And really the law, if it doesn't allow us to be as strong as we need to be, is a perturbance. It's an obstacle to the outcome.
Every country's acted on that in the 20th century, though.
You're switching between a normative and descriptive kind of power. I was saying like, listen, I am trying to explain American success, and you asked me what explains the success. That's a descriptive claim.
I'm not asking you. I never asked you, my friend. I never asked you, my friend. I never asked you, my friend. I never asked you to tell me why America was successful. Never asked you to tell me why the United States of America is successful.
But might gets us in a lot of places. Okay, think about our might though. We're the reason why Japan, if it wasn't for our might with Commodore Perry bullying Japan, we are responsible for Japan's success today, if you want to be honest about it. That's one goal, that's one explanation.
Hold on. That's also let's not muddy the waters here. Sam is helping me make the point that I want to make through the Elon and Trump worship conversation, which is you really need to make a foundational philosophical choice before you set out on the road to worship one of these individuals, and it's going to lead you to a mutually exclusive place.
Can I explain why I like Elon without being interrupted? I have that.
No, I'm not. I mean, when I'm done talking, so what has to be established, this foundational philosophical element, is a conception of what the law is, what the law should be, and why we have the law. And I'm arguing that the law is a conceptual tool that is tremendously valuable, and that it is generated by religion. That religion is kind of the first conception of the law, and it contains within it an authority. That's a necessary component of the law is an enforcement element. Now, ultimately, there's going to be conflict. We're going to have conflicts, right? And one of the ways you can try to solve the conflict is to say, well, I'm going to be bigger and stronger than everyone else I ever get into conflict with. And I'm going to work with other people to make sure that we're always bigger and stronger than everyone we get into conflict with. Okay? What happens when you have an internal conflict? How do we adjudicate these things, right? And well, it was established that, essentially in order to get the people to act in concert with one another, there has to be a certain understanding. And oftentimes it's useful to have that explicated in the law. We have an arbiter, we have a moderator, we have a tool to establish what is fair, and it requires an agreement that we will agree to be moderated by this arbiter, that we will allow this law to govern us. Now, Sam, you're saying you don't believe that we should enter into any kind of agreement. There should be no overarching structure, there should be no contract, there should be no law that is consistent and uniformly enforced, because that's limiting.
When did I say that? I didn't say that. Okay. The reason why I like Elon is because AI risk is a problem and he cares about that. Going to Mars is a good thing. Neuralink is a good thing because it's good for us to like be sort of integrated with our technology. It's good to have electric cars. It's good to have more freedom of speech on Twitter. It's good to like have less funding to the federal like these like bloated programs. Those are why I like him. Not because of like any ideas about like actually what I care about is might more than about like rule of law. Like I care about specific like technological things he's doing and certain like legal like maneuvers he's making.
But if he violated the law in pursuit of those objectives, you would believe that he was acting correctly and you would continue to support him.
It would be a cost-benefit analysis of like how big the law violation was.
Right. So again, so is it fair then? Is it fair then to say that you don't believe in the consistent and uniform enforcement of the law, and what you believe in is instead a cost-benefit analysis, where sometimes you conclude that the law is better left subverted?
Yeah, I do think that.
Okay. All right. So I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth to have concluded that you do not believe in the consistent and uniform enforcement of the law.
Is the law like the most important?
And you think that there is a higher? You think that there is a high? Well, it's not necessarily me, because I think every single one of us, if given the choice, would want to rule as the God Emperor of their fiefdom. But you know, we live in a zero-sum reality to the extent that I've been able to observe it. I think most would agree with me.
Would you break the law to save like 100,000 people? Like, would you like, I don't know, get a jaywalking ticket to save 100,000 people?
So again, the law absolutely already makes allowances for these idiotic hypotheses people seem to concern yourselves with, like this idea that, well, what if what if hypothetically there was a law that said you're not allowed to pull the lever, but if you pull the lever, you would save 10,000 people. Okay, I mean that kind of needless pedantry is unhelpful. Ultimately, there is already an established doctrine. These laws, Joe, I really don't appreciate you saying that I sound like a Jew, because it was really against my will that I was created in the first place. So if I was a Jew, it wasn't because I wanted to be a Jew. All right, so that's not very nice. Let's think about those things. Okay, let's think about that. All right, because that's insulting to me. I'm insulted. So you would say that I sound like a Jew. All right? Sam sounds like a Jew. Sam sounds like a Jew. Not me.
There's more important things in the law. Like the flourishing of like human beings is more important than the law. The law is something that we keep up with pragmatically to achieve flourishing, and it's not the end in itself. It's a thing that we pragmatically create to create flourishing. But what matters is human flourishing, not the law itself.
Right. So you conceive of a reality where the law is not an essential element to our flourishing, but so whatever leads to the greatest amount of flourishing is supreme. Yes.
Well, that's true. I do believe that.
Right, and you know, if that means that others have to not flourish, that's okay.
That's like a contradiction in terms. I talked about.
Well, I mean, you're going to hold on a second. You're going to maximize flourishing. That doesn't mean everyone flourishes. I mean, do you think that we're going to be able to create heaven on earth? I mean, of course you do, but I mean, say it. Say, I believe that we can create heaven on earth.
I believe we can create heaven on earth.
Satan. I love it. Good for you. Are you religious?
No, I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist, okay? So that makes sense. So you believe that people are inherently good?
Absolutely not. They're monsters.
So if people are not inherently good, how is it that we can create heaven on earth?
Because we can genetically engineer our genome.
Hold on. If you're an atheist, how can you even make a statement about heaven? What is heaven for an atheist? What is heaven to an atheist?
Like maximal happiness for like as many people as possible. Like, yeah.
But you don't believe in the existence of heaven.
Yeah, I don't believe heaven's a real place, but I think we could create.
You're really confusing me now, because at first you said you believe we can create heaven on earth, and now you're telling me you don't believe heaven's a real place.
You don't understand what metaphors are, Mike?
I can't understand if you're engaging in metaphors or if you're just confused as an atheist. I mean, you told me you believe in heaven. I mean, I'm left to imply that a belief in heaven requires a belief in a God. I mean, my goodness, please slow down. So you're an atheist, you don't believe in the existence of heaven, but metaphorically you can conceive of a place where there's a minimal amount of suffering, but not heaven, because let's be clear, even conceptually, even metaphorically, heaven is a place where there is no suffering, where there is no want, where it is absolutely not a zero-sum environment. That is the conception of a infinity, of utopia, a place where there is no want.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's one conception of heaven, but I'm saying we can make like close to that.
Okay, so you believe that the essentially your philosophy here on Trump and Elon, and you worship which one?
I think Elon is good, and I think Trump is bad.
You think Elon is good and Trump is bad? Okay. Well, that kind of leaves you in kind of a quandary here. You know, do you think they're working together, or do you think they're, what's going on there?
I mean, during World War II, Stalin worked with Roosevelt, and I thought that Roosevelt was good and Stalin was bad. Like, is this not like a coherent thing to understand?
So they were both bad. There's no such thing. I mean, you're saying you're an atheist, but you're talking in these childish terms of good and bad.
Moral realism. I mean, most analytic philosophers are moral realists, so like you don't know what you're talking about.
I certainly know what I'm talking about.
Are you denying that most analytic philosophers are moral realists?
I'm denying your assertion that Elon is good.
Okay.
Okay.
But you said it was childish to discuss moral truth, good and bad. But then I said, when you poll analytic philosophers, like about 70% of them are moral realists, so it's not childish to talk about good and bad. Most of the people that consider these matters most closely do talk in those terms, so it's not childish at all. It's very sensible to talk in those ways.
We don't need to get into the weeds here. You don't believe in the consistent and uniform enforcement of the law.
I don't think that the law is sacrosanct. I think the law is good.
The law is not sacrosanct. Well, I mean, how can anything be sacrosanct? You don't believe in heaven. You don't believe in God.
Again, do you not understand what metaphors are, my guy?
Oh, okay. Everything's a metaphor. What about moral? Well, what? My friend, everything is not a metaphor. Is your life a metaphor?
No.
Is good a metaphor?
No.
It can be. I mean, this is ridiculous. You sound like an atheist. You sound like a pathetic, lost atheist who can equivocate and argue about everything and know nothing.
So, like, sometimes language uses metaphor. Like,
that's right.
I have some books for you that if you want to like learn about like metaphors, like George Lakoff. You should just like read his books on metaphor. Like, it's a very
Is George Lakoff good? Is George Lakoff good? Is he good? Is he a good metaphor guy?
Are you asking if he's morally good, or are you saying like what are you asking me with that question?
You see how frustrating and pointless it is to have a conversation if you're going to be unpacking things like that. I bet you and Jordan Peterson love to masturbate watching one another, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's like we just sort of.
Where do you think I thought? See, because you have to ask yourself, well, what do you mean by he? You know, because there's a lot that goes. I mean, just shut the fuck up, get out of here, Christ Almighty.
One of the problems
is, you know what I mean? The most intellectually disingenuous people. Disingenuous. They're so fucking disingenuous.
When you're smart, you make distinctions between things. That's like a part of intelligence.
You are misattributing. He's probably a Sam Harris fan.
What's that? You think? No, I'm aware. Like
Not Peterson, Harris.
Oh, Sam Harris, yeah.
Yes. Like, I think the rule of law is important.
I wouldn't have cared if Hunter Biden had the bodies of 12-year-old boys in his cellar. The right thing to do was to vote for Joseph Biden. Yeah, that went over well. That was a metaphor, you fucking idiots! That was a metaphor! I should not have been taken literally when I said I would not have cared in a hypothetical scenario if the son of the president had murdered young boys and buried them in his cellar. That was a fucking metaphor!
I never said I liked Sam Harris, you fucking retard. What the hell is this conversation?
Oh, I think we know exactly what you like.
What do I like?
Well,
White eyeliner.
Baby penis.
White eyeliner in your romper.
Can you help me understand
I hope you can tell you're getting wrecked in this debate.
Sam, I'm absolutely getting wrecked. Can you help me understand how is Elon good? You said he recognizes the threat that artificial intelligence poses to the species. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
That's one of the things. That's one of the 5 things I said, yeah.
Okay. Now, guys, no, and I don't want you to start engaging in these false dilemmas, okay? I don't want you to start straw manning. I don't want you to start going to these ridiculous extremes. But is it fair to say that Elon Musk is a liar?
I mean, he has lied in the past, yeah.
I mean, has he made it a pattern to lie?
I don't know if Trump lies much more than Elon Musk lies.
Oh, okay. Here we go with the fault. Okay, look, I'm not asking.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about degrees of things. When you want information about my beliefs about things, I should give you like ranges of what things I'm comparing.
No, I just asked, is it a pattern? Is it a pattern? Is there a pattern?
Yes, he's lying.
I mean, has he lied? He lied in the present.
I mean, he's lying right now? No. Like at this moment, no.
How do you determine when he's lying and when he's not?
I mean, how do you tell when anyone I assume that you've lied in the past. I don't know if that means that you are a liar and I can always discount everything you say because you one time told a woman that she looks good in that dress.
Well, see, there you go. Now who's talking about degrees, right? Let's understand that lying about whether or not your wife looks fat in a dress is completely different than lying to millions of people about something, right? Let's keep the scope here. So Elon Musk, in his position, with his authority and his wealth, he's operating on a much higher degree than me in my interpersonal relationship with my partner, asking a question about how clothing makes her look, right? We can agree.
Yeah, there's degrees of lying. That's kind of why I was trying to explain what I thought.
You're needlessly becoming very. Hey! Solely, you watch your fucking mouth. I am not a chud. I don't know what that means. I'm a giga Chad, motherfucker.
Is your argument just that when he says he cares about AI, he doesn't care about AI because he's a liar? Is that the
No, that's not where I'm going with this. That's not where I'm going with this. Not at all. Not at all where I'm going with this. So, you say Elon Musk has lied in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked you, you said, is he lying in the present?
And I said, I don't know what that means. I don't mean
okay.
In a second.
And I asked you, okay, well, what is the criteria that you're using to establish when he is or is not lying? Because contrary to your opinion, my wife knows when I'm lying about whether or not she looks fat and this, that, or the other. Right?
I think
Wait, hold on. I've got something much more important to address. Solly Sullivan from Google AI. The acronym CHUD stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dweller. Oh, I like that. It is the title of a 1984 horror movie and the name of the fictional creatures in the film. Well, I don't think I mind. Yeah, a cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Like you.
Oh, pass. Okay, well, thank you for that. So I'm asking you, what is the criteria that you're going to use, right? Now, we don't need to argue about my interpersonal relationships and about your own interpersonal relationships and whether or not you know when someone's lying to you or they don't. It is important, though. Honey, are you telling me that my profile is triggering? Is it? I haven't got a lot of, Eli. Oh, well, forget it. We don't need to get into the weeds there. Ooh. Honey, part two. There's so many easy. There's so many chats. They're not here anymore. Check the chat.
Us and I are that your Instagram page is the first solution. The first solution is your Instagram tag. It's like that.
Let's go, Sam. Let's fucking go. You're taking step one on a wonderful journey, and I know that we will meet glorious victory on the battlefield.
Holocaust style is so important that it's like your Instagram handle.
Do you think that the first solution is Holocaust denial? That was the final solution.
Buddy, the Jews are not out to get you, buddy.
Well, I don't know. We kind of are. Well, look at that. Direct incontrovertible testimony to the contrary.
Well, two Jews disagree here, so you gotta be agnostic at best.
You're not Jewish. You're not Jewish. You're a goy. You're a goy.
We Jews disagree a lot. That's a fact.
Yeah, there are too many Jews, if that's true.
There's not too many Jews, not enough photographs. Not enough. Anyways. So the Holocaust denial doesn't have anything to do with the first solution.
Boring conversation about Jews again. switch gears. I wanted to comment about the supremacy of law versus the supremacy of basically might and outcome. I want to propose that the law is kind of not important when it is applied in a population where there is not agreement on values.
Yeah, you don't need an arbiter when you're working together and you have a shared conception of what is good.
No, you do need an arbiter.
No, you don't need an arbiter. Okay, well, let me argue this. The more consonant your beliefs, your values, the more homogenous the population, the less you need an arbiter and the less you need law, explicit law, hierarchical law. The more you can rely on social mores, customs, and other social tools that are not explicit or hierarchically established. So when I'm in a group of individuals and we're trying to accomplish a task, and we all want the task to be accomplished, really interestingly enough, I just watched a very, very touching video of the basically the German militia setting up a defense of Königsberg, and you can see that there's people of all ranks, who are helping move these guns into their positions to prepare to defend the city, and so they're all sharing. But that's a bad example. But when I'm working to achieve something, I don't need there to be a law that says, hey, you need to make your bed in the morning when you get up, and you need to use the restroom when you need to brush your teeth before you come to the table to eat breakfast. I don't need to have a law that says that if everyone is interested in the same objective, everyone is getting up, they all have the same attitude. I don't need a hierarchical law to impose that on people. Everybody wants the same thing. I don't need to say everybody, and there doesn't need to be a law that says you need to breathe. There isn't a law that says you need to drink water. There doesn't have to be. Because if you want to
talking past each other. We're not talking about two different things. We're talking about two different things. My point is not about, I agree that if everyone wants the same thing, you don't need a law, obviously. People in their nature want somewhat different things inside a moral community, right? So in that moral community, you still need law to adjudicate between different interests and conflicts and whatever. My point is though, if you have two moral communities, you cannot unify them with a single set of laws. It's completely pointless. You will need some sort of dictatorship to apply this law to two communities that completely do not agree with the values of each other.
Well, we need to be, that's immaterial without Sam establishing his position on the United States of America, what it is, what it ought to be, where it derives its value, it sounds like Sam is saying, the consistent uniform enforcement of the law is not an element, or at least it's not an important or essential element. In fact, it's kind of something that can be taken or left as is necessary, but there is some other guiding principle, hierarchy, structure, or current that is essentially responsible for our might, power, and success.
Yes, but again, you and Sam, you do not inhabit the same moral community. So you discussing laws is very much talking past each other. Sam will be able to agree on the importance of the law.
Ellie, the issue with Sam is that he is essentially extremely sensitive about how he is perceived. And
he has many people surrounding him that kind of align with his views and part of his moral community. And with them, he will be able to come to agreement about laws. And you will be able to come to agreement about laws with people in your moral community. And you will see eye to eye.
Talk about talking past me. You think you need to tell me this. You don't need to tell me this. It's very much understood. I completely understand that me and my people who have the same objectives don't need a law to tell us how to act. I'm telling you that.
No, you do.
The reason I advocate for and insist on as a prerequisite for cooperation, the consistent and uniform enforcement of the law as it is written, is because I have no other grounds to trust that we have shared interests, and I refuse to accept that you will do the right thing, because I know when push comes to shove, you are a bunch of greedy, selfish, fuckstick, stupid animals who will push an old lady out of the way if you think you're going to be the first one on the elevator. You fucking pigs. I know you. I've seen your hearts. Right? You don't know what it's like to be starving. You don't know what it's like to be completely impoverished. And you think you put on these ideas like, we don't need a consistent uniform enforcement of the law. Yes, I assure you, no civilization has ever existed without the consistent and uniform enforcement of the law. And the process of empire's decline and decay is that the population at large begins to recognize that they're becoming larger and larger and deriving no benefit from continuing to maintain obedience to and subservience to a system of laws that is not consistently and uniformly enforced, and thus there is a revolution and a restoration of a state of affairs where there is a more consistent and uniform application, or at least a good faith attempt by all observable political entities acting with that authority.
God, you're so long-winded.
Right. I won't go there. Wait, one second.
Jesus Christ.
How many?
Yeah, rule of law is important. Obviously, rule of law is important. It's just not the most important thing. Jesus Christ.
Wait. 1 second. Let's clarify. How many moral communities do you recognize in America, like major moral communities? I didn't touch it. I did nothing.
You should have.
Why am I not getting anything? I'm not getting nothing. I'm coming,
Right?
You know what I'm talking about.
You know.
I give and I give and I give and I give and I get nothing.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Okay, I need to build, but I don't want to answer. How many moral communities do you recognize in America? The major ones.
What's the score, guys? What's the score? And I'm not talking about the Eagles and the Chiefs.
40 to 22?
Yeah, 40? Who's 40?
I don't think it's you anymore.
Huh?
I'm the Eagles.
I'm the Eagles.
All right.
Yeah,
that's how you want to be. That's how you want to be.
Hello.
That's how you want to be. Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Right.
Situation.
Very good.
Yeah, we'll send you from the other side one. I'm sorry. I have to be careful.
I know. All right. Well,
What
is Ellie? What did you want an answer to?
My question:
How many recognize in the United States?
Hold on.
You specifically, how many moral communities do you recognize? Can you recognize in the United States that are like
None.
What?
None. There is no moral community in the United States, and I think the election of Donald Trump and the worship of Trump and Musk, both of them together, any of them separately, and it is evidence that there is no real moral.
No. Wait. So you misunderstand me. I'm not. You can think that they are amoral communities, but a moral community, they can adhere to some form of moralization.
They don't. They're literally. There's no. I mean, to conceive of a moral underpinning, to conceive of a morality like that, you're asking. You're saying conceptualize a group of individuals who are bound together or sharing a conception of morality. They share a definition of morality.
They
conceive of that. How many unique? I gotta take this call. I will be back.
No, I will not be back. Maybe a bit later. I don't know. Bye. Take care.
that's the right way. That's how you score. That's how the Eagles need to be playing.
I think the Chiefs should do better.
They're trying, but they're waiting to see what the Eagles are gonna do.
I mean, we are in the best season.
It's true. There's definitely some other factors.
Yeah, it's like no privacy. My mom just came in my room. Oh, shit.
Where's the wave function in sport?
You need help?
I'm trying to figure it out.
You don't want everything to be recorded? For the
Well,
maybe Nora and Diego can learn from this.
Yeah, out of pity and sympathy, considering your current plight, let's go ahead and just let it be recorded.
No, let's not do it.
By my standards, I'm not massively together.
Oh, okay.
Why? Do you know me? Do you know me from before?
Yeah,
Where have we met before?
we met a while back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw you in London.
You saw me in London.
Yeah.
How did you see